Next up is Ben Sontag from the Madison Building. Ben's interest in comedy started at a very young age. At 7, he would gather a group of friends and started telling them comedy stories each evening. He was fascinated by their interests, and they loved the stories he would make up. As he grew older, he started sending stories to radio shows and newspapers. He even made money sending jokes to Can You Top This? At Fox Hills, Ben joined the Repertory Theater, acted in their first show, and loved it. Since then, he has written many skits and one whole show for the Repertory. Let's bring Ben up here and see what he's going to do for us tonight.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I did start telling jokes at the age of 7 years old, and I got such a thrill out of all the boys and girls I was telling them. I decided I wanted to go into that business. I was, in fact, a poet, writer, and actor. Once I was in a play in acting school called Gideon, and they asked me to play the part of God. I thought it was typecasting. I tried using method acting also. So 2 weeks beforehand, I started to live the part off stage. I really came on to God there. I was fabulous. I put on a blue suit, took taxi cabs all over New York, and I tipped big, because she would have done that. I got into a fight with a guy, and I forgave him. It's true. Some guy hit my car and broke my fender, and I said on to him, I said, be fruitful and multiply. But not in those words. I remember one time I was on my way to taking a violin lesson. I was walking past the pool room, and my friend Ralphie and all his other friends were out. They were swiping hubcaps, which was the habit at that time, but they were swiping them for moving cars. It was really amazing. And as I walked past them, they said to me, hey, skinny boy, come here. I was a cocky kid. I walked right up to them, nose to nose with Ralphie, pushed my violin into his chest and said, my name is not Skinny Boy. Call me by my real name, Mr. Ben Sontag. Well, I spent that winter in a wheelchair. A team of doctors labored to remove a violin. I was lucky though, I never played a cello. I like to discuss marriage because that's important. For example, my friend Ralphie's wife was an immature woman. See if this is not immature. He would be home in the bathroom, taking a bath, and his wife would walk right in whenever she wanted to and sink his boats. She had a terrible attitude toward him. She said he always kept her underneath the pedestal. He finally came right to the point and said, Quasimodo, I want a divorce. But this was a long time ago back in New York. And back in New York, you couldn't get a divorce unless you committed adultery, which is crazy, because the 10 Commandments say, thou shalt not commit adultery. New York says, but you have to. Luckily, he became better friends with his wife when she decided to help him out, and she committed adultery for him. I once had a girlfriend that used to involve me in deep philosophy arguments and then prove I didn't exist. I couldn't tell my parents about her. My parents were old world parents. Their values in life were God and carpeting. My girlfriend had tattooed on the inner surface of her thigh the words, keep off. Which, unfortunately, I was never privileged to see in our relationship. But had it been written in Braille, I would have had a great thing going with her. I graduated from Brooklyn College. I took all the abstract philosophy courses in college, like Truth and Beauty, Intermediate Truth, and Intermediate Beauty, Advanced Truth, and Advanced Beauty, Death 101, and Introduction to God. I was once thrown out of class my freshman year because I cheated on my metaphysics exam. I looked into the soul of the guy next to me. At another time, I tried selling insurance. My favorite insurance policy was called orgasmic insurance. I sold these to many of my friends' wives. If their husbands failed to satisfy them sexually, Mutual of Omaha agreed to pay them $69 every month. I wanted to mention my grandfather. He was a very wise man with money. See if this is not wise. On his deathbed, he sold me his watch. Yet, my grandfather was a very insignificant man. At his funeral, his hearse followed all the other cars. Life is really confusing. Girls. I didn't marry the first girl I fell in love with because there was a tremendous religious conflict at that time. She was agnostic, and I was an atheist. We didn't know what religion not to bring our children up in. It was then that I started to read the Bible. Friends kept telling me, you have to read the Bible to find out the truth. I have two pairs of reading glasses. One pair is for reading fiction. The other pair is for reading nonfiction. I read the Bible twice, wearing each pair. And you want to know something? I became confused. It read the same each way. Oh, years ago, my mother found a bullet in her vegetable garden, a real bullet. And this is true. She gave me the bullet, and I placed it in my breast pocket. That week, I was walking down the street when a berserker evangelist heaved the Gideon Bible out of a hotel window, hitting me in the chest. The Bible would have gone through my heart if it wasn't for the bullet. I thought I was going to die. You know, when you're thinking to die, everything flashes in front of your life. And it's true. I saw myself as a kid again, going to school, swimming at the swimming hole, and fishing, going down to the general store, playing with my German Shepherd. Then I realized, wait, it's not my life. I never had a German Shepherd. I'm dying in 2 minutes, and someone else's life is passing between them. Life is confusing. One day I went to a restaurant that advertised we serve breakfast at any time. So I ordered French toast during the Renaissance. I also told them, please don't bring me water. I never drink water in restaurants because of the disgusting things that fish do in water. Then was the time I spent a week in a hospital. They gave me apple juice every morning, even when I told them I can't drink it, I hate it. I had to get even. One morning I poured the apple juice into my specimen food. The nurse held it up and said, you know, it's a little cloudy. I took it and said, let me run it through again. The nurse thanked me. I moved to Fox Hills with my wife in 2004. I knew immediately Fox Hills was right for me, because every time I entered a road in New Jersey, there was a sign that said, road work ahead. You know, there are 1.8 million tax-exempt charities in the United States. This week alone, it seems like half of them called me for money. Charity is a wonderful thing to participate in, but pick your own charity. Don't let them call you. Give it to whom you think should get it. But what seems to happen now, I contributed $20 to one charity. A week later, they called me, could you double it to 40 next month? Luckily, I played double or nothing, and that's what they got. I know someone, this is a true story, from Fox Hills, who received 8 calls in one day from the same charity. She was so frustrated, she went to the local police to find out if the calls were legitimate. The police checked it out and actually told her to not contribute any money to that. That night, she received 2 calls from the police to donate money. One charity called me, in fact, and I thought I would get smart. I said, how much money do you give to the people that get the money? And they said, 99%. I asked them, how do I get on that list? They said, you can't, it's a family relationship. It's another thing I can't understand. For example, I was born an incubator baby. I weighed 1.5 pounds. I was born in the 7th month in Brooklyn, New York. And that's one thing I never could understand. Think about it. It took me 7 months to get out. Then I spent the next 83 years trying to get back in. Life is confusing. But good night, and thank you for listening to me.